Good day, everybody. Welcome to Ben Lomond TV and Cooking with a Coach. I'm Jerry Lowery, and the special guest today I have with me is my son Josh. He's going to show us how to do some chicken fajita things and some onions and stuff like that. We'll look at that just in a second. Want to welcome you to Ben Lomond TV. Appreciate you watching, and let's get right with it. Josh, welcome on the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here, Dad.
All right, tell us what you're going to do here. Let's just see what's happening.
All right, so we're just going to make a simple chicken fajita. It's kind of my go-to. It's fairly healthy and low carb. I like to keep it low carb, and this is definitely low carb. We're going to marinate this first. All we do here, and the thing I like about this is I don't measure. I just kind of go. I kind of go in color. I just throw a little olive oil in there. Little lemon juice.
You're just almost to taste. If you like a little something extra, then you can throw that in as well. Is that correct?
That's correct. And it's just easier like this than, there we go, I dropped that. But to measure it the whole
now
time.
what is that? Is chili powder?
Yes, this is hot Mexican style chili powder, oregano. And then this is the shake and bake method really, because we're gonna get it all in here. And then shake it up. Crushed red pepper, I just put a little bit. And if you don't like spicy stuff, you don't have to put it in there. But many people that eat this don't like spicy stuff. You really can't taste it. A little salt. Sometimes I don't even put salt in there. Just depends. Onion powder.
Just a lot of mixtures of various flavors and stuff to give some flavor and stuff into the chicken and marinate it.
And this is garlic powder. And I might need to go back. I kind of mix it up at first to see kind of what it looks like. Of course, after you do it a few times, you can kind of get an idea of the coloring that it's supposed to look like, or that you like, and you kind of know. So you just mix it up like that until all the chicken's coated. It kind of bunches up at, sometimes, but you can kind of work it through, and you do that until it gets kind of like a nice red brownish color, orangish almost.
And with the magic of TV and the time, now Josh, tell me how long this was marinating for. I know we pre-marinated this just for the sake of the show, but how long did this marinate in that you want to let that stand?
This was
for?
About 12 hours. Sometimes I do a couple hours, sometimes I don't marinate it at all. Sometimes I just do this and I'm ready to go. It just depends on time and whatever. It all tastes the same to me at the end anyway. But obviously the longer you marinate, probably the better. So next we're gonna cut some onions. Do you wanna cut one?
Yeah, let me have an onion.
All right, and of course you can cut this however you want. I like to cut these little ends off first and get rid of those. Is what I like to do. And then I like to do this on the bottom of the onion right here. I like to make a little flat spot so I can kind of rest it and it don't kind of roll around on me. And of course everybody likes their onions different. I like mine kind of long and small. I don't like huge chunks. So I'm gonna sit here and do this a few times.
You can definitely smell these onions as we're sitting there cooking.
Yeah, this is the point where my eyes usually start watering, and then I'll turn this around right here, do the other side. Try not to
cut yourself.
Slice my finger. And then at this point, I kind of spread them all out like this, and I will cut into the middle. So where they kind of are long strings like this. All right, then separate them like that. And I do that to each of these little
wheels, onion wheels. So you want to cut the middle and then separate them, and that creates that.
I like to separate them. It doesn't take so long as cook, and it just gives the nice little strings.
Now you could, if you would rather them be diced up, you could dice them up, and
you can definitely dice them up however you wanted. When it gets to this point right here, I just kind of cut them in half and do that with the rest of them because I don't want to All right, and then it's that simple with the onion.
You want to put in the pan. Now we're using a cast iron skillet. We've discovered lately that probably in the last year or so that we really started using a cast iron skillet more for various reasons other than we just like cooking with it. And we've got this heating up pretty good right now. You can see it. I don't know if you can see it on the camera smoking, but it is smoking. It's pretty hot. Josh, tell us what we're doing next.
I just put a little olive oil in there. All right. Do we have a
Spatula right there.
no, something to hold this with because that thing gets hot.
It's going to get hot. Yeah, we'll make one here.
Anyway, maybe this towel might be better. Okay, I just get that olive oil rolling around in there, and then in with the onions. We'll just do one for now. I think that would be good.
Yeah, one onion is probably plenty. We've got 2 cooked here, but that's all right.
You can do butter in this as well if you want. That kind of makes it taste a little better. Key is put a little salt on those, give them a little flavor. All right, and while these are cooking, I usually let those cook down a little bit, get them a little caramelized. I don't like my onions too crunchy. I like them kind of soft and sometimes even a little burnt. So I'll let those cook down. All right, and then while I'm letting that cook down, I get out the chicken and start cutting that up. I just dump it out to the cutting board. You want to cut a few pieces?
I'll do. Give me some. We'll do it. I'll take a few pieces and we'll go with it.
Making a mess here.
That's all right. The good thing is it's not that big a mess, and it's just something to do. You're just going to cut this chicken into small little chunks and make it kind of like a fajita style.
Yeah, you can do strips or chunks. Really, whatever you like. Obviously, the smaller you make them, the shorter amount of time it takes for these to.
I will say this: it's really if you were here in the studio with us, these onions, it's really smelling the flavor, the chicken that's marinated. We're getting that flavor, and it's really a good smell right now, and that's what draws people to the kitchen a lot of times is they smell the stuff going on in the cooking, and people are just drawn to it. Now, do you just continue to let that?
Yeah, I just let that cook. Sometimes if it's, depends on how long it takes me to
cut up the chicken.
To cut up the chicken, I might turn it down a little bit, but I just keep working it in, and you can see it's kind of getting a little burnt, which I like that. You might want to cut it down just a little bit. But like I said, it's tailored to however you want to do it. And I eat this pretty much all week. I'll cook this and bulk and put it in a bowl, put it in the fridge. That way I can warm it up and have it all week. It's healthy, it's quick, and I enjoy it. I know a lot of you probably like this type of food as well.
Josh, tell me about while you're cutting. You mentioned meal prep. That's a big thing now? A lot of people are meal prepping.
Yeah, when you want to kind of, those of you health freaks out there, I know I like to try to eat healthy. The meal prep it's easy. It's hard to do at the beginning of the week, and it's hard to get going. But once you got it, it's easier to just pull out what you've already cooked and eat it instead of always having to cook something healthy. When you're always having to try to cook something healthy, it's a pain.
If you had a bigger pan to use, you could make a lot of this, and probably prepare almost a full week. I know a lot of people they'll cook a bunch of the chicken, and then they'll do different kind of sides and things like that, where they'll do some onions and peppers and a lot of stuff, and they can use the chicken for various meals. So that's another thought as well as we do this.
And really, at this point, it's just about how you like your onions. Do you like them a little bit more white, or do you want them a little darker, a little more brown? That's all preference. I like mine, like I said, a little bit more crisp, a little bit more done. But you got to realize too, once we throw the chicken in, it will continue to cook a little bit more as well. The onions will. So at this point, I want to add that you can also throw green peppers, red peppers. I do that sometimes. Most of the time I just keep it to onions because I just like it better that way. But it's also really good, like if you're at a restaurant and you get the full chicken fajitas. We get the red peppers, the onions, and the green peppers all together. It's really good like that too. But I do it like this most of the time. It's not as colorful, but I like it. Now we're just throwing the chicken in.
Chicken going to take the time to cook. You almost see this in
Yeah, you can throw a little bit more.
We won't put all that in there. We'll go with that.
And you can use any kind of onion. This is a red onion. I mix it up sometimes. But it's all preference.
Do you ever add any more olive oil or anything like that?
I do.
Cooking?
I add, if I can fund it, I'll just add some more olive oil. Sometimes I'll get the olive oil spray and spray it on there. If it's getting a little dry, it looks like, but that works the same way. The spray sometimes is easier for me after I've already got it.
There you go. Let you cook. That's your meal. It's your party right now.
And then at this point, the chicken's starting to get done. The onions are cooking up. Smelling good. And like I said, at this point, you want to make sure the chicken's done, obviously. And then some people like their chicken a little bit more done in chicken fajitas as well. So that's just all preference at this point.
There's a lot of things you can add to that. Like you said, peppers and if you wanted to make a bowl of rice as your meal prepping and maybe put that over some rice if you wanted it. There's a lot of different sauces you could use. You could, if you wanted to make it more of an Asian, like a teriyaki sauce or soy sauces and things like that. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with this dish to make it. You could make it even more like a Mexican type food with a lot of different flavorings and taco seasons and things like that that you could use as that's cooking. So this dish is very flexible, if you will, on the flavors, and it's always your taste. And once again, like we talked about earlier, meal prepping, if you made a lot of this and you didn't put any seasoning in it, it would just take just a small amount of cooking to add some seasoning and stuff while you're cooking this and heating it up to create different flavors as well. And I know, and I've seen Josh in action at home before, where he makes a whole bunch of this. It's not just, I mean, it's literally a big old bowl full of it that he uses all week and heats it up. So that's still cooking.
And like I said earlier, you can put this on chips and have chicken fajita nachos. You know, put it on the tortilla. You got the tacos. You can do a lot of stuff with it, or just eat it like this with chicken fajitas. Warm up some refried beans, and there you go. It's like you're at your, local Mexican restaurant. Sometimes I put a little Texas Pete in there with it. And again, if you don't like hot sauce, you'll never know it. It just gives a little flavor. It's not hot. My son, he eats this. He eats the onions and all of this just like this, and he doesn't like hot sauce. So it just adds a little flavor, while it's cooking. And if you do like hot sauce, I put it on afterwards when I'm about to eat it too and mix it up, where it really gets that Texas Pete flavor.
Well, we've said this 2 or 3 times already. This meal can be designed to your taste and your family's. Like myself, I'm not a big onion person. I would if I was making this, I would leave the onions out for me. I just not a big onion fan. I don't mind the green peppers, but the onions is what I'm not a big fan of them. So that's why you can cater this to your family and your likes and dislikes. And that's the fun thing about cooking a lot of times. The chicken is getting close, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take long once you get it rolling.
Is there anything else that you add to that, or is that now just make sure everything once the chicken's done, and if you want to add some hot sauce to it, that's what you do?
Yeah, the only thing is, to taste at this point. If you try it and you think it needs more salt, add more salt. And you can mix around with different types of marinades, but that's just a simple thing that I do to marinate it. And like I said, sometimes it's overnight, sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes I just do it real quick and chop up my onion and put it in the pan.
There's so many marinade flavors out there that I know a lot of people sometimes just buy the store-bought already pre-made if they're trying to save time or something like that. Might cost you a little more in the long run, but if you buy the little packs of the various flavors that you might want to use as you marinate your chicken. So there's a host of flavors that you can add to this dish. And but Josh chose he likes to he discovered this is what he likes. He's experimented and discovered this is the one that I like. And it is pretty good. It's a pretty good chicken mixture that tastes really well.
Sometimes this one can get a little bland because sometimes I don't put salt in it, but sometimes I'm trying to be super healthy as well. And the packets sometimes have a lot of sodium, have a lot of extra stuff in it that so this one is, I found, the healthiest. It's natural ingredients, and it's pretty healthy and it's pretty good. And like I said, if you don't like the taste, sometimes you can throw a little bit more Texas Pete on it, and you're good to go. I think this is about done.
Yeah, I think we can plate that. I'm gonna cut that off. I think we can plate this. I'll just hold it up and let you hold that over there. Dropping a little bit of it here and there.
Like I said, this is about 1.5 pounds of chicken, maybe a little less.
Just hold that over there. Let me move this out of the way where we can. Josh, you can set it just set it right there where they can get a good look at that.
Of course, we don't have any of the fixings with it right now, but
move that over. We'll move that right there. And while you're looking at that, and once again, Josh might add, or you can add, the hot sauce to it if you want to add as you're about to eat it. It's really a good meal right now. What I want to do is now, let me get a quick little. We'll try this and see if it works. I'm going to get one that's a little bit deeper. Nothing like live TV. And going. What I'm going to attempt to do is show you a neat little trick that I've learned, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But and I hope that we can see all of that. What I'm going to do now is make a real quick key lime pie, or you can use lemon juice, and make it like a lemon flavored pie to go along with this dish as well. And what I need is 4 yolks. And I'm gonna crack the egg, and I'm gonna drop it in a plate right now because I just need the yolk. So we'll clean that up in a moment. And I discovered this, and I hope you can see this by just using a bottle. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. An old water bottle that you cleaned out. If you squeeze it a little bit, if you just need the yolk, and hope that works, kind of, sort of. And you saw that, and it kind of, well, I broke the yolk.
I think the yolk was too big on that one.
Yeah, but at times we'll try it again in a second with this second one. But it's quite an interesting little thing if your bottle has got a little suction to it. Like that one was perfect, and it just sucked it up in there. And I've left the whites, but I just need the yolks, and I need 4 of those. So we'll try that again. If it don't work, we'll scoop it out.
We'll say I've seen him do this, and it usually works.
That one worked, so we got that one. So there is 3 and we'll try it with 4. I know it's kind of crazy, but I don't know if there's another way to do that. I'm sure someone out there in Ben Lomond TV land can share with us that. That one worked pretty good, and we got those 4 yolks. Josh will just throw that away now, and I'm going to move this out of the way, and we'll deal with that in a little bit. And what I want to do next is, so what I've got is 4 yolks. Now I know there's a lot of people say, oh, they're going to eat raw eggs. I don't know. If you don't make this if you don't like. But anyway, we do it. I'm not worried about the raw eggs. The yolks of the eggs, and I'm using 1 can of condensed milk. Who does not like condensed milk? If you add that to anything, it's really good. And we're just going to add that up. Josh is a little healthier than me at times, and I'm not sure if he likes all that condensed sugar.
Oh, I like it.
Mixture.
I like it.
And an interesting thing takes place in this. This yolk, it's real liquidy and stuff, but I'm going to mix this up, and when I add the lime juice, it mixes with the yolk, and a chemical reaction almost and coagulates it, and as it gets colder, it kind of binds up and it gets hard. So for sake of TV time, we're going to make this and pour it into the pie shell in a moment. But you need to let it refrigerate. Really, it's best for about 24 hours. But if you don't have that time, if you want to just quickly make something this is a no bake. It's really a good dessert, and it tastes really good. And if you like lime, it's summertime, and if you like lime, lemon type flavor stuff, key lime pie, you can do that. We've mixed that up, and I'm going to add, the next thing we add is just going to add some lime juice, and use about half a cup. It calls for 5 or 6 ounces, so I like to use about a half a cup of the lime juice, and I'm just going to pour that in there, and we're just going to mix that up, and I'm going to get this pie pan here ready to go.
Mix that up for you.
Yeah, stir that up. And this is really a simple, if you got a little time. If you don't have, can let it set for 24 hours, then put it in the freezer for a little bit. Let it get really good, and it'll harden up, and then you can take Cool Whip or any kind of topping that you would like to put on it, and you can mix that up. And it's real simple, real easy, no cooking. A lot of times in the summer, people don't want to slave over a stove and cook. If you're going to a 4th of July cookout or some kind of church function or some kind of picnic where you want to make a dessert that's pretty good and it's cool during this hot times, this is really a good option for that. So once again, let's put over here where we can just see a little bit. And literally, all that's in this is 4 egg yolks, the condensed milk, and the lime juice. We mixed it up, stirred it up, and I'm just going to pour it in here, and it really turns out well. It's got a really good flavor to it, and you when it's all said and done, you can take Cool Whip. If you want to put Cool Whip, a layer of Cool Whip over this after it hardens up, and it will harden up in the fridge as it cools up. But anyway, that's it. So today, Josh, tell us real quickly, review this dish, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll end for the day.
This is just a simple chicken fajita recipe that I eat pretty much 3 or 4 times a week. I like to eat at the restaurant, but sometimes that gets expensive. So I just tried to learn to make it at home, and it's simple. It's just onions, chicken, throw in some red peppers, green peppers, whatever you like, chips, salsa, whatever you want, and you got your chicken fajita fixing for the week.
By the way, just this here, I had one ready to go, but I dropped it and turned it upside down, so you're not seeing it. That's a mistake I made. So anyway, we would cool this, let it chill, and then put some whipped topping and stuff over the top of it and serve it, and it'd be a great addition to any kind of cookout, picnic, or whatever you want to do. I want to thank you again for watching an episode of Cooking with a Coach. I'm Jerry Lowery, and my guest host today, Josh Lowery, who I've known all his life. He's my son, and I want to thank you for watching Ben Lomond TV and all the other shows that they provide throughout the counties. I want to thank them for their service. God bless everybody, and have a great day.